Reboot Charlotte. Keyword Uptown. Welcome to the Wheelhouse. This is where the Queen City begins again.
Charlotte will be the center of the political universe when the Democratic National Convention comes to town next year. Shining that global spotlight starts with welcoming our guests. Fox Charlotte's Terrence Bates and photojournalist Billy Carrier examine the QC's global and multicultural fabric as we reboot Charlotte.
Be it high noon in Charlotte's business district or a leisurely Sunday afternoon, the sights and sounds of Charlotte are varied, some romantic, some exotic, and all part of the complex fabric that makes us a city that needs no state identifier. Charlotte will be the center of international attention the week of the convention, so naturally, Charlotteans want to put their best foot forward and ensure the city maximizes this opportunity.
But we're probably not as familiar to most of the rest of the world as we will be after the DNC.
How are you measuring a global city or a multicultural city or an international city?
Hung Yee's perspective is as a Korean American who worked much of his early career down the street from the White House.
If you use language, you know, it's a pretty broad indicator that there's a lot of diversity here, multiculturalism, internationalism here.
We see people from all over the world. We see a lot of people from Africa, Sierra Leone, Eritrea, also Latin America, Colombia, Mexico, Brazil.
I have family in South Africa, and my mother actually heard Charlotte on the news the other night.
Fumiko Amaya moved to Charlotte 3 years ago. Her family had no clue where she was going.
I used to live in Chicago, Atlanta, so they know the name of the city. But Charlotte, where is it? North Carolina, where's North Carolina?
The American Community Survey found Charlotte's immigration boom started in the 1990s. During that decade, 38,000 immigrants came to this region. That rate increased by almost 8,000 people between 2000 and 2009, totaling 47,000 foreigners. The greatest influx came from Latin and Central America. Between 05 and 09, most of that group came from Mexico and El Salvador. Indians and Vietnamese spearheaded immigration from Asia. Some come for business, others as refugees escaping political and religious persecution, and many simply to create a better life.
We have 650 foreign-owned firms that are located here in Charlotte-Mecklenburg and 875 in the region. In a business sense, we very much are a global presence.
Something County Budget Manager Hung Yee is quick to point out.
I remember doing a briefing for a delegation from Azerbaijan who wanted to know, how did Charlotte get to where it is? We pop up on a lot of lists in terms of, best practices.
All this benefits Lincoln Heights, Sunset Hills, Dilworth, or Plaza Midland.
What's in it for you is a more exciting place to live. I'd say that first and foremost.
The diversity in Charlotte brings economic benefit to the community. It brings different cultures and ideas.
Yet with an unemployment rate of just under 10%, not everyone is benefiting.
Purely economically, I think it's erroneous to think that immigrants are a sap on and draining our resources.
Instead, she sees each person as a potential resource in making Charlotte and Mecklenburg County a more prosperous place. One might measure Charlotte's global appeal by the groups at local parks or the business people hard at work in Uptown. But the sign outside the International House underscores our diversity. Charlotte welcomes the world. Terrence Bates, Fox News.
You can also look at the arts community as an indicator of Charlotte's global diversity. For instance, the conductor of the Charlotte Symphony Orchestra, who happens to be British, was selected to direct the London Chamber Orchestra during the royal wedding. We want to hear from you. Head to our web channel, foxcharlotte.com, and click on the Reboot Charlotte tab. You can give your feedback and see all of our reports.